I'm doing great now that I'm here and settled and all the things.
I'm good. Thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Yeah, of course.
Well, let's talk your new
Please.
movie. What a great movie. I'm a huge fan of rom-coms, so anything that can put me in a good mood and make me feel really good at the end, I'm always loved. So I love the movie.
So I have actually auditioned for this production company, ESX, who created the film. I've auditioned for them. I think like the executive producer Ali Afshar. He and I had wanted to work together for a really long time. And every time I auditioned for them, I would get super close. As soon as I got the audition for That's Amor, I read the script and I was like, there's no one else it's going to be. It has to be me. And then 2 rounds of callbacks and then got it and got to do a bunch of chemistry reads with all of the different Matthiases, which was really fun because I just got to talk to
not a bad job.
Really it was a highlight of my career so far. And then pretty soon after that we were just rocking and rolling. And
how many screen tests do you know off the top of your head did you do with the actors who played
I think there were 4.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think there were 4.
Did you know though which one would end up being it, or were you still kind of, oh, this one could work?
So when I hopped on the call, first of all, it was like, it's always so informative when you get to be on that side of a chemistry read, because normally when you're the one that's being debated, do wrong, and being on this side of it made me realize that you can do everything right, and sometimes it's just a puzzle piece. Sometimes it's just because everyone else did such an incredible job, but as soon as I read with Isaac, as soon as we hung up with him, I was on Zoom with the rest of the team and I was like, well, he's handsome. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but
no, because it's always interesting when you hear people, they're like, oh, well, I have to do a chemistry read. And it's like, you always hear from the person auditioning for the role, oh, I had to do a chemistry. Maybe I didn't have it, but apparently I had it. But it's always interesting to hear from the other side of the coin, because rarely do we ever get to hear, well, they were casting someone that had to work with me. Some people, they would assume, oh, they just called this person and I sat there and read the line, and we never get to hear, no, it was, he came in, he read, and at the end of it, I was like, yep, that's him, that's him.
Because it's very much so, it's very aptly named a chemistry read. You can read with people that you, or, you guys are getting along, but it really, you're putting this puzzle together, and we are trying to find Sophia's character. I feel like he gave enough, the right amount of shit back to me, because Sophia dishes it a lot. And he gave it back to me, but in a gentle, he appreciates her cynical side.
I think he does.
Yeah, clearly. So yeah, I think, it just felt right, which is super informative as an actor going into offer what I have to give. And if that's right, great. And if not, I know that I'm not doing anything wrong.
But what I also,
because you're doing well enough to get
it's
to
that, but it's also, you did it over Zoom. It sounds like it was virtually done, which it's still mind boggling that we're obviously, because of human contact as possible, but for a rom-com, you have to have chemistry. Typically you step into a room with a person, you can see naturally, okay, they're vibing, everything's great. But let's from 1 to 10, do they have chemistry? How hard is that? How hard is that to be able to bring, obviously this is a camera. We're going to be able to see a video conference like this, being oh yeah, these guys have chemistry.
Yeah, and sometimes there's a lag, and I'll never forget, there's this one actor that read, and he was amazing. He was so good. He was, and there was a lag. So, and we were doing a romantic scene, and we kept talking over each other, and then his camera froze.
Oh God.
During this part where we're gazing into each other's eyes, and they're I'm just gonna hold this for a good 15 seconds.
God. Maybe my camera will freeze and then it'll be perfect.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't just I held it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to them not being on Zoom anymore.
I'm probably with you. I thankfully have never had to do that. Hopefully I will never have to do that. But it's also growth to adapt to those types of situations and still pull it off.
100%.
You guys still managed to pull it off. What worked in the virtual chemistry read completely got sold on screen. The two of you were fantastic with each. Sophia, she is very cynical. She reminded me a lot of myself. I'm, very sarcastic, can be very cynical in certain moments, but also can be bubbly when need be. Like the delivery back was just smooth and it was very seamless between the two of you. But what I also really loved about the movie was yes, it was a romantic comedy, but it was also focused a lot on Sophia finding a lot of the times, she spends the entire movie, well, this is work. This isn't what you love. Like, do you really love doing this? She sees everything as work, and you kind of come full circle to finding something. Loved that. And I loved your portrayal of it, but I kind of want to know what drew you to wanting to play this character? Obviously, besides reading it and saying, oh, she's so much like me, was there something about the story that, whether it be Sophia, I want to be in it?
Yeah, like the first thing that comes to mind when you ask that is the relationship between Lainey and Sophia, the mother-daughter relationship. And I love when there's like healthy parental relationships on screen. And I feel like we don't see that much. And I just thought it was, every scene with them is so cute. Both flawed human beings that are learning, they're both at this age for the first time in their lives, and they're both figuring it out. And I think there's like a really beautiful parallel between the two of them. They're both kind of trying to start over, and when they look at each other at the end and they're like, new beginnings, remember, new beginnings. That was something that really, I like called my mom immediately, and I was like, I love you, I just want to let you know, because I just think it's a really special bond that they have. So I think other than the kind of the love story, I think the mother-daughter relationship was really what
it's a different take on like a love story besides just rom-coms typically. And the nice thing I should say is a lot of the rom-coms that are story, but they're also focusing on the platonic relationships that are surrounding these characters, which I don't think we used to see years and years ago, thousands. And the nice thing is now you're starting to see it's more than just falling in love with a significant other. It's falling in love with yourself, falling in love with, again, with your parents. A lot of us have a thing, and you're 1,000% right. Her relationship with her mother in this, they're extremely supportive of one another, but they're also in the same exact spot as one another, just years apart, as, goofy or, aloof, basically had no idea, or forcing her daughter into something she didn't want to do. So I really enjoyed that back and forth, but I also enjoyed your portrayal in these characters, like almost like you guys had been mother and daughter for years.
Yeah, that's the main, that's such a huge compliment, because Nancy Linehan, who plays Lainey, she kind of able to see my mom. And so it was like really weird filming this with her and not being able to see my mom at that time. So I felt very fulfilled in that relationship. And root beer dates, and she shows me all of her sewing projects, and we just had lunch in Paris randomly. I just adore her.
What were the two of you doing? That can't be what were the two of you doing in Paris at the exact same time?
Well, my fiance and I were we spent a month.
Congratulations! I was going to bring that up.
I'm like chomping at the bit. I'm so excited. But she was also, her husband is. And we spent this beautiful day in the park just talking about love and life, and what it's like to be a female in the entertainment industry.
Oh my gosh, that's just like, but it's, I guess, goes back to, if you hadn't done this movie and you guys hadn't been, unfortunately, part of a pandemic and filming during a pandemic, it was so much harder to film with restrictions and all that stuff. But also you were forced into a bubble with these people, and I hate using the word stuck with these people, but same people day in and day out. And I think the relationships you get from that afterwards is a testament right here to you and Nancy. You wouldn't have 100%. Had that.
And Isaac's like one of my best friends now. We talk daily. And I adore his wife, and we go on double dates, and I think you're in a time because of that. So
what was it like filming under these new restrictions? You're not a newcomer to the rom-com world, and you filmed them prior to, so now that you add in this whole level of restrictions and actress and preparing for things like this.
I think with filming That's Amor during this time, I learned a lot about taking care of myself during filming. It was kind of shocking to show up to set for the first couple of days, because it was like the most people I had been around, and the crews who work so hard for hours and hours and hours, and it felt weird because the actors are the only ones not wearing their PPE gear, so you feel like it definitely adds more stress. But I think just taking care of myself and trying to not need anything from anyone, because I know that it was a very stressful time for everyone. And I think in the job where we get to show up and leave, and then everyone else is still working until the wee hours of the night. And I think this time around, it just like made me appreciate what everyone's doing a lot more, the pandemic. So it also made it really worth it with the premiere, now that restrictions are a bit settled down, and we all got to like see each other at Warner Brothers and celebrate.
I have to
what we
imagine
made
that there was a
during this weird
different
time.
feeling of accomplishment when it was all said and done, and when you guys saw the final product.
Yeah, totally. It really felt, and it also is watching it, because it was like you said, you're just stuck with this group of people, and specifically the cooking class scenes. Like those were the funniest day, and unique to their characters, and so those days were just like so much fun, and I felt very lucky that I got to experience that type of cooking setting.
Were you
during that time
novice to cooking beforehand? Did this change your love of cooking, or were you always someone who enjoyed it?
So I have a love-hate relationship with cooking, but I have a love relationship with Ted. Our food designer was so incredible, and I have a dairy allergy, so in my mind, showing up set and the whole thing, and they were so sweet. They made dairy-free versions of everything. So it's very sweet, but it also was my downfall because I ate so many croquetas, eating monster. Everything was so delicious. On like hot days, we were filming the gazpacho scenes, and gazpacho is so refreshing and delicious. For the art of cooking. But I'd rather eat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm with you. But some of the stuff that you guys made in the movie, I was just like, I could never, like, this is a really advanced cooking class.
Yeah,
like,
which is funny because they
could never
it, like,
do this.
There's this scene between Sophia and Matthias, and she's like, well, this isn't really fine dining ingredients. But you're right. I was looking at this and I'm like, this is really impressive.
That's asking a lot of, a mother-daughter too.
I know.
Well, you not only have this movie, but you have two other big projects coming out this year. And I can't believe there's only less than 4 months left in the year, and two big projects. What you're most looking forward to for both of them?
Oh my God, I'm so excited for both of them for different reasons. So I love that That's Amor came out first, because this was like a really nice home play. And so we have Hollywood Christmas coming to HBO Max on December 1st. And my character in that, I play a character within a character named Ashley, who is playing a character named Chloe. So I have like two names. It's like very meta. And it got very confusing because I had to learn to listen for both character names when people were calling me. So that was a bit of a mind. It's just like this diva Christmas movie actress that has this like Ariana Grande ponytail. And let me tell you, when I put on that ponytail, my confidence level
There's something about a good ponytail
that I did not know existed. I've never done it before. I feel like you can take that out. No, I'll leave it on.
Just like doing this.
Oh my God, it was so great. So I'm very excited for that. It's about filming like stereotypical. So I think people will really like that. And then in December, I've got a horror movie coming to Shudder, and I'm not allowed to say much about that one because it hasn't been officially announced yet. But I got to work with the director, Joe Begas, who I am a huge, it was a 2-month shoot, all overnights. So we'd start filming at like 6:30 p.m. and wrap at like 8 or 8:30. Yeah. And I was like, it was very, very challenging, but it was one of the most life-changing things I've ever done. And I'm really, really proud of that one because I like film, which I've never done before. And that project I'm super pumped for.
I am not a huge horror fan. Anything horror, like watch 30 seconds of it and it gives me nightmares. But I've always wondered this about filming horror. Is an innate fear there? Like as you're filming, or is it more so just like, I understand this isn't real. Like I know what I'm doing. I have to pretend I'm scared. Is that the kind of feeling, or can you still just hide make well, I feel like I'd have nightmares.
Yeah. So my fiance was very scared because we were staying in a haunted hotel. It's like I would come back with like these ghost stories that the locals in the town that we were filming in would tell us about the hotel. And I'd come back and I'd tell Dennis, you guys are filming during the evenings. I have to sleep here. So he was very scared. But when you're filming, I think especially in a town like that, like this is actually terrifying. Yeah. And for our film in particular, the premise is pretty like full throttle from the get-go. And I was pretty for most of the shoot. There were some days where you have to kind of like hype yourself up a little bit. But once you're there, it's easy to believe it all because there were no everything they did were practical effects, so it was all happening. And we also
living
shot
a real haunted house.
Yeah, and we shot like pretty close to chronologically, so I think that helped a lot too.
I would say I would see it, but it will give me nightmares. So
it's fine. You can read.
I will read about it. I will
just
promote
buy a ticket.
it. I
That's
will
all
be behind you 100%. I just will not be in the seat watching it is. I just can't. There's something about horror, like the way your fiance reacted to be like, "Stop telling me." That's me. I raised it that that's true love because each other because he stuck it out and stayed.
I don't know why he did that.
He loves you. That's why.
I was like, you don't have to stay here. And he's like, no, I
would have moved out. I'd be like, I'm going to go stay at another hotel.
Yeah.
Or I'm just going to go home. You let me know how it happened. So that's true love right there.
Yeah, that's true. I should give him more credit for that.
But to talk about that, congratulations. That is super exciting on your guys' engagement. Are you guys still just kind of enjoying the engagement phase?
It changes day by day. I like yesterday I looked at him and I was like, let's just go to Vegas. Like whole shebang. So no plans yet. His family's in Australia, so we have to like we have to do a little bit of planning to get them over here. But I think I'll be happy.
I think that's the perfect making.
I think so too.
Besides the I do part and all that.
Till death do us part.
That's how you know. I always say this to everyone, people out on the floor, then you know you have a problem. You can't have a song where people leave the dance floor. It's going to be hard to get them back on. Open bar, it'll do lots. But you got to have the good 100%. Music, good dancing.
And like some taco trucks, I don't know. We'll see. The other day, I was like, maybe we'll go full disco themed. Who knows? So yeah, we have so much.
But have you started to notice that now that you are engaged, have you been to a wedding since you become engaged?
No, not yet, because it's still quite fresh for us. We'll be going to.
It'll be interesting to see if you go in with I want to do this for our wedding. Nope, I will do that. I'll do that. I have friends who they're like, we got engaged, and that was the first. Like we are just, and they were at the wedding, and they were just talking about, well, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. I was like, why not just enjoy that? Like enjoy that this isn't.
Yeah, that's so true. That sounds like something I would do. I'd be like, oh yeah, no, that's not happening. Let me get out my notebook. It's so funny. There for a long time. Been together 9 years.
Oh wow.
And since we've gotten engaged, I sometimes forget that we're engaged. And so we'll be like at the beach or something to me. And then I'm like, what is wrong with me? So I don't know how long that's gonna last.
Probably forever. Probably it'll turn into from thing. Man, I'm gonna be so happy to marry this man.
We have we have 13 grandchildren. I'm 80 years old.
Now, how did you guys meet?
Who knows? We met on set of a Lifetime Christmas PA, and I was bullying him and making him get me things from Crafty. And then they called him into hair and makeup, and I was like, "Are you in this?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm one of the leads." And I was like, "Excellent, I'll take that cookie. Thank you very much. Enjoy."
I realize it's like the start of a romantic comedy movie or a holiday movie.
I know.
So if you guys ever want to, you could clearly make your relationship into a holiday movie.
Yeah.
I think just, putting that out there, you should. It'd be good. Start on the set, find something, but you gotta have the conflict and then keep going.
Gotta have some executive come in and try to mess things up.
Or a new lead.
Oh.
Recasting
and then he does turn into a PA. Excellent. I like it.
So in like 3 years, I'm gonna say that
you'll get a story by credit. Don't worry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just gonna say on the end of it and be like, "Yep, we had that conversation."
Yes.
What do you think it is about rom-coms that keep drawing you back in?
Honestly, that's an interesting question. Like about rom-coms in particular. I think they're just easy to watch, and this might be a stupid answer, but the fact that my nieces can watch them, so sometimes they can't watch what I'm in. And I'll take any cool points I can get with my nieces. So the fact that they can watch them.
I think there's something about a rom-com that draws everyone to keep coming back to them. Don't take this wrong. But there's something comforting about
I agree.
Coming back, you're in a safe space, you know what you're watching. And as you said, you can watch it with anyone. Doesn't matter the age. You can sit there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I think, the way that the world is right now, everyone's looking for a good time. And I think it's so great. That's more typically wouldn't be my type of movie, but I really enjoyed it. And so I'm happy to turn people into rom-com
and especially with your nieces who probably can't watch the horror movie. They can definitely enjoy this.
Yep. For many reasons, they will not be able to give them 2 films this year that they can
There
watch.
you go. Well, I know I could keep you here all day, and clearly we've kept ourselves.
I know. Sorry, I'm just.
I think either of us. No, it's perfectly fine. I love these type of conversations where they just go. You know, it started. I could go for another 3 hours if we wanted to, but I'm sure you have a lot to do.
Thank you.
So my final question for you is, what else can fans, besides obviously about the Hollywood Christmas? It's a series, isn't it?
No, it's a movie. Yeah,
it's a movie. Okay, I don't know why I kept thinking in my head it was a limited series.
Yeah,
that would be really cool too. But what else can they look forward to in 2023 from you?
Yeah, I really want to step into the producing world as well. I think it's a smart thing to do, and I just want to be sure that no matter what I'm doing, acting or producing, I'll be very happy. And so next year I'll be producing a film, and then hopefully a couple sequels. Awesome. Hopefully, I'm really excited about that's Amor doing so well. Because I think now we can ask for a sequel.
Yes, I think you can. I think it should happen.
Yeah, I think so too. That's all I know of right now.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank you.
An absolute pleasure. And once again, thank you so much for bearing with me while I figured out all the audio issues.